Hi there guys, it's MarthaMew here, and today we're back for another POKÉMONDAY match. I'm sorry that this seems to be the only kind of thing that I do recently guys, but there shall be a new set review coming out pretty soon when Japan gets their Sun and Moon 5, which of course won't include all of our Sun and Moon 5 because we get their Sun and Moon 4 Plus within ours as well, I think. But I shall do my best to cover that when it comes out. But for now guys, we actually have something from Crimson Invasion this time, with Matt running a, well actually Matt's running a slightly older deck, and I'm running Silvally GX. Matt using Toxapex and Garboda Trash Lunch, which techs in a few different basic colourless Pokemon as well. My deck obviously running completely colourless Pokemon, but being able to change type, which is obviously Silvally's party trick. So I managed to start off there with a type null, and on Matt's side we have the Toxapex GX. Matt using his Professor's Letter to find him some energy. Also obviously deck thinning if he was to use any drawing cards after this. See, however much I love the Silvally sleeves from the Elite Trainer box, they are awful to shuffle. So yeah, there we go, you can see that he thinned the deck there so he could use Great Ball, which obviously gave him a less chance to find energy and more chance to find the Pokemon he wanted. So yeah, these two are the Pokemon that are teched in here as just basically backups for if Garbodor can't work, or if Toxapex isn't quick enough to set up, or you know, things like that. So attaching the energy there to Drampa, and obviously it's his first the first turn, so he can't attack. So passing to me, I have a double colourless energy to attach to my type null. I use Kukui, not for anything other than just to draw cards. Of course it does add another 20 damage to the Armor Press attack, which I don't actually think we add. The effect on Armor Press of course is though that I take 30 less damage from attacks. I'm sorry guys that I completely missed the fact that there was supposed to be an extra 20 damage from the Kukui. I'm afraid that happens a lot with my games, that we're not cheating or anything, we just don't realise that things have happened and forget, and you know, we're only human. Matt is considering whether he wants to use his GX attack or just attach for an energy for turn and work up towards the second attack. Thinking, making a mistake that he didn't realise that it was 3 energy for the second attack here, but of course the energy onto the Drampa is obviously charging it up for the other attack there. Matt considering whether he even wants to do this, and because obviously I'm not taking any damage from the attack, though we later realise obviously that it would have been worth it just for the effect, because I would still have had to discard the DCE from the Pokemon, but Matt actually just ends his turn without attacking, which is a bit silly. Of course, like I just said, we're human, we derp a bit and make mistakes. Attaching the water energy there to type null, and using Wally there to evolve the type null. So we get that shiny Silvally out. Me trying to shuffle the deck in a different way because these sleeves are horrible to shuffle. they have very sort of sharp corners which make them so that they won't go together. It's also the glossy effect on both sides of the card, the front and the back just makes them really difficult. Obviously Matt having an excellent shuffling style, but even that goes wrong sometimes, as you can see, but still. I'm hoping the lighting isn't too bad for you guys. On my narration image here it's a little bit fuzzy, but I'm hoping that clears itself up. We do change lighting a little bit, like sort of 2/3 through the video, so I hope that doesn't bother you all. But I believe I'm just going to go for the turbo drive for 120 damage, which will leave him on 30. So guys, even if I'd have done the 50 damage, he would still be left on 1, so it wouldn't have killed him regardless. Attaching the double colourless energy there to the Taurus on the bench. I have an apple patch in my hand, but no basic Pokemon or any way to get them, so I'm starting to kind of worry slightly. So this time getting rid of the special energy from Silvally. Of course I did have another double colourless energy in my hand even then, so I could still have done the same amount of damage, so all in all it's not too bad, but of course I wouldn't have had the second DCE in my hand at this point. Yeah. So we go Kukui again for 2 more energy. Using the Ultra Ball to discard, I think 2 water energy in the end. Because I have a Aqua Patch in my hand, so getting those energy back isn't going to be a problem. It's also the fact that Silvally's attack puts an energy from the discard pile to the bench as well. So energy retrieval from the discard pile is not a problem in this deck, as long as there's something on the bench for it to go on to, of course. I do run, I think it's 2 of each of the type memories to go with Silvally, but unfortunately I don't see any of them, well, the right one for most of the game. Obviously the whole aim of a Silvally deck is to do the most damage that you can, and by hitting for weakness. So you want the right type of memory for the Pokemon that you're hitting. Using Aqua Patch there to put the water energy onto the type null on the bench, and then using Turbo Drive to attach another energy from the discard pile to the type null. So the Tauros comes in, and taking my 2 prizes for knocking out that GX Pokemon. I do believe, guys, that with the things in my hand I still could have gotten around the whole not having a double colourless energy attached to me in the first place by using Silvally's... Oh no, I couldn't, because Silvally itself isn't a basic. Don't worry, ignore me. Yeah, Silvally has an ability that lets basic Pokemon have no retreat cost, which obviously works for the type nulls before they've evolved. It works for my backup Rayquazas, and yeah, it's a pretty good ability when you can use it. Silvally himself's only got two energy retreat costs, I believe, so I do run a couple of switches just to make sure I get that off. Putting type null in active there so that it will have that free retreat. I also don't want my Silvally up front to be vulnerable, so I'm using Armor Press for 30 damage. The one energy he had on the Tauros already was from a rainbow energy he popped onto Tauros, which is obviously a self-damaging card, which for Tauros is brilliant because Tauros does more damage if he's got more damage counters on it. Of course that makes it a little bit vulnerable, but he's there to basically hit back with a vengeance. So he's Bridgeting there to put the Trubbish, another Marini and his second Dramper onto the bench. Sadly this deck tends to be very slow at setting up Toxapex. We don't have a low count of Marini and Toxapex in the deck, so I don't really know what the problem is, but that's what decks do sometimes though, guys. They just wanna misbehave. So because I used Armor Press last turn, the attack would usually do 60 damage, just done 30 damage. I use an Ultra Ball and discard the Water Energy, knowing that I should be able to get it back with either Aqua Patch or Silvally's attack. Having a very difficult decision here of what to discard with the Ultra Ball, and I think I discard a double colourless energy in the end, which is obviously really difficult for me to decide to discard, but everything else in my hand has too much of a purpose. I don't want to get... I think at this point I do actually have a Psychic Memory in my hand, which at this point isn't any good because I one-shot every one of these Psychic Pokemon on Matt's bench anyway, so at the minute I don't need it. I only want to reveal it at the point where I'm going to need it. It's all about keeping the mystery of your hand. Using the Ultra Ball there, and I'm eyeing up the Silvally. I don't think I'm going to evolve it right now. Mainly because it benefits me to keep the type Null in, because it's a one prize knockout if Matt manages to knock it out, and I can withdraw it at any point using Silvally's ability. So I want to swap it before I evolve it, so I can obviously get use of that. Doing another Armor Press there. Matt attaching the energy to the Dramper because I don't think he has any way of getting, no way of getting the Toxapex on the field at the minute, so there's no point in even trying to wind that up just for it to be useless and wasted energy. Matt thinking possibly just to get rid of the type Null and use his GX attack, which I think will knock it out even with the Armor Press, reducing the damage. And what he decides to do is attach a Float Stone to Tauros, and then Float Stone obviously giving free retreat to Pokemon, and retreating then the Tauros into the Dramper. And then, as his hand is useless, as we can see, just discards man lots of energy, using Big Wheel to draw him a huge hand of 10 cards. So let's just wait for Matt to shuffle in the cards that he had in his hand and draw 10 more, and then we will carry on into my turn. I think, if I remember rightly, I top deck a Bridget, which gets this thing going a lot easier. Matt joking with me at this point, but I'm going to end him, because obviously he's drawing quite a lot of cards here, but fortunately for him, I don't actually run N in this deck. No particular reason why not, it just didn't fit in. I just had too many other cards that I wanted. There we go, as you can see, the Bridget going down. Searching for Rayquaza. Another type Null, and I think another Rayquaza. Yep. So there's already 3 type Null out on the field. Well, underneath the Silvally there's another type null out in the field. But yeah, so 3 is, I feel, plenty. And putting the 2 Rayquaza down just as an extra security. Here we go. Here's the light changing. Sorry about the bright light there, guys. I think the camera does adjust slightly, and I'm sorry about the glare on the back of Matt's deck there. Yeah, the light going a bit yellow for a little bit, but hopefully it should correct itself. So after getting all these Pokemon down on my bench, what do I do? Well, currently, because of Silvally's ability, the type null's got free retreat. So I'm looking what I've got in my discard pile, and I actually have another energy in the discard pile to get on. I think I have an Aqua Patch in hand, so the way I get around this is I move the type null to the bench because of its free retreat. Just put anything in active, to be honest, as long as it's not the Silvally. So putting that type null on the bench so that it can be targeted for the Aqua Patch. Then I believe I shall... It doesn't really matter which order I do it in. I can move it back into active and then evolve, or evolve it and move it back into active. Because the type null in active currently is a basic Pokemon, it doesn't matter. Matt asking me if the ability was once per turn, and it isn't. It just basically gives all basic Pokemon no retreat constantly. It doesn't say you may move once per turn your active into bench or bench into active, etc, etc. It just says basic Pokemon have no retreat cost. I choose to do 120 damage with Silvally there. Sadly, not finding my fighting memory to just insta-KO it. But finally finding both Toxapex, I think, from that big wheel. Using how to draw 3 cards. A whole lot of energy in his hand. Guys, during this match, we realised that we completely misread counter energy for the use of it in this deck. We put counter energy in there for the Toxapex and then read the card a little bit closely that says it can't be it doesn't have any effect to GX or EX Pokemon. So that's another boo-boo. I'm sorry, guys. Like I keep saying, we're only human. It's fine. As you can see, Matt's got a lot of other energy in his hand. The counter energy would have been amazing for Matt in this case with, well, either the Dramper or the Toxapex, to be honest. Having that basically double colourless or double type of energy would be amazing. But unfortunately it doesn't work for this deck properly. There is the deck though, however, that we do have that it would be perfect in, so it will be moved over to there and we may have that match next week. So look forward to seeing that one, guys. Matt with a hell of a lot of cards in his hand, including a Tapu Lele I can see, that I don't think he puts down. I don't remember him putting down, but attaching the first energy to the Toxapex, because it takes 3 energy to get going, which he has in his hand at least, and a Professor's Letter. He also has a Choice Band in his hand, which is rather nice. Matt having life decisions made right before us. He's regretting not putting, I think, the Tauros in. He could actually still do that. He still has a Switch in hand. it's going to do him the most damage at the minute because he doesn't have a double colourless in his hand for Drampa to do its bigger attack, and he does have a damaged Tauros on the bench, so he would be able to get that off, which is again why it is a shame that the counter energy doesn't work on GXs. It is quite a shame that the floatstone is on. Interesting, choosing to move the Toxapex into active. I think because it's a Toxapex deck, he wanted to try and show Toxapex off. He had no idea, of course, that the one card in my hand was a Psychic Memory, and him not being able to knock out my Silvally even on a 4-head roll here for continuous. I can't remember what the name of the move is, but it's, yeah. So you're doing 60 damage there. You could have done 120, which still wouldn't have knocked me out. He had no idea, obviously, that I had that energy in there. I'm just checking my prizes here with the Gladion that is new, to see if a Fighting Memory was in my prizes, which I would have loved to have gotten out, but there wasn't. I can't actually, I think I chose to take an energy out of there. The Gladion then, when used, goes into the prizes as if it was the prize that you took and gets shuffled back in. I'm obviously revealing the Psychic Memory, attaching the second energy to Rayquaza. Psychic Memory meaning that Turbo Drive is going to be doing 240, but of course because Matt has got the bodybuilding dumbbells on this Toxapex, he actually lives on 10, which just shows why bodybuilding dumbbells is amazing. Sadly though, because he's only got one energy on there, it's not possible for him to be able to attach 2 more and be able to actually attack, which, like I keep saying, is the sad part about the counter energy not being able to work for GXs and EXs. Choosing then, therefore, of course, to put the energy onto the Toxapex with a choice band. And I think using continuous, I can't remember what the other thing is. I know continuous, there's an attack called continuous tumble somewhere, but it which involves rolling dices. But so we can see 2 6s there, and then he got a 3 on the roll that rolled to the side, so it's another 60 damage. I don't remember what the one card I drew was, but I don't think I use it. I am wondering if I think it may be a Guzma I have in my hand, looking at how much I'm thinking about this. Oh, I see what my problem is here. I haven't used my GX move yet, and Silvally's GX move does 50 to each Pokemon. So if I was to do that, I was wondering whether I would KO multiple Pokemon. But unfortunately, it KOs the Toxapex, obviously, which gives me 2 prize cards, and comes close to KOing the Drampa, but obviously fuels up the Tauros a lot more to get a revenge kill. Leaving it on at 10 damage. Me seeing obviously the easy revenge kill from Tauros, but obviously I think either way things happen. I think, yeah, even if the Toxapex comes in and Revenge kills itself and manages to actually hit as many of the heads that it needs, I think the bench Silvally will still kill a lot quicker than it can kill the one that comes in. So using Rage there on the Silvally to knock it out. But as he chose to use Tauros, the bench Silvally can come in and just instant KO it, and I don't actually see that that is the amount of damage that he's on. For some reason I'm in a bit of La La Land and don't realise that it's just a really quick KO. I didn't realise I only had 2 prize cards left, so there you go, taking the KO on the Tauros. Yeah, being a silly human being again, guys, I'm sorry. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed seeing Silvally in action, and maybe in a couple of weeks' time we'll see Toxapex again and see if it works any better against a different deck. Thank you again very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!